When we zoom out in geopolitical realm, okay, which is not my specialty either, but we have a ton of friends in the military who specialize in this. We see that this is actually avoiding a boots on the ground war with China when we are able to choke their oil supply, and the president and our military are exemplary in doing so right now. They've cut the oil supply from Venezuela, and they've now reduced it and choked the oil supply to China in Iran. And now what that does is presumably prevent China from having an absolute stronghold on the globe. So this is a strategic move geopolitically that we may not fully understand, but I absolutely trust that this is best for our nation, and we should be America first.
What makes you think that the regime...
Let me rewind that a little bit.
But I absolutely trust that this is best for our nation, and we should be America first.
What makes you...
Boom. Boom. That right there was exactly why she's not getting invited back. She hit it right on the nail. Nail in the coffin. Phenomenal. Articulated herself. Shout out to Alyssa Hasselbeck. You think they're going to keep bringing somebody on who actually says this stuff out loud? No chance. Alyssa Farrah Griffin would never give that take. Never. She would never. She would tap dance around and give word salad. She's lukewarm. She'll talk a little bit, defend Trump, and then go out of it and be understanding. But you got to pick a side and you got to stand on it. You fall for something or you stand for nothing. Alyssa Farrah Griffin would have danced around it, softened it up, put a little bow on it so nobody at the table felt uncomfortable. But what Elizabeth just did, that was probably one of the best takes. It is one of the best takes I've seen on this show when it comes to The View, when it comes to something serious. Because she laid it out clearly. This is not about the Epstein files. It's not about some secret distraction. And it's not, we are fighting a war just for Israel. That talking point drives me crazy because it's such an oversimplified, surface level way to look at something that's way bigger than that. Is Israel benefiting from this? Of course. They want the Iranian regime weakened. That's obvious. But guess what? They're not the only ones. Our other allies in the region wanted to. Countries in Europe wanted to. That's why you're seeing the UK, France, and others slowly, quietly lining up in support of that. And they're not screaming in front of rooftops because their politicians don't have the guts to go tell their voters the truth. But behind closed doors, they agree. They all agree. Right? Ain't that a typical politician? Say one thing in public, but nod heads in private, but agree. Right? And they pander to their voter base, or their base that strongly supports them to stay in power. But Trump is just the one, only one, blunt enough to say, yeah, we're hitting them. We're bombing the shit out of them, as he would say. And yeah, regime change is the goal. And I respect that.